Corgi is training harder for the battle ahead. He's been locked in the washing machine to build up his strength. But after a few steps, Corgi can't keep up with the spinning speed. He collapses to the floor in exhaustion. This is followed by strength training. But having grown up in the palace, how could he possibly carry this load? His friends then taught him a Chinese kung fu routine. During the balancing exercise, Corgi couldn't hold on for 3 seconds and fell off. Next up was lumbar strength. Roy tried his best, but couldn't pull a bit, and he ended up bouncing himself back up. The last step was boxing. He was screaming on the floor in pain as he threw a punch. Roy, who hadn't suffered before, did the rest of his training. He didn't meet any of the standards. Soon the fight between Roy and the dog began. The dog was all muscular. He was the boss of the dog fighting ring. Roy was too scared to speak. Before the fight, on the advice of his doggy friends, Roy climbed on top of the pole as fast as he could. The dog boss didn't panic and laughed at Roy for a while before. In a couple of seconds he was after him. In no time the dog boss had thrown Roy down. The dog boss grabbed Roy by the neck and prepared to throw him into the fireplace. Luckily Lisa, who loves Roy, came along just in time. She quickly turned off the electric switch and the stove. This not only saved Roy's life again, it also attracted the feeder to him. The dog boss had to let Roy go. He went back to his cage. The next day Roy was adopted by a dog lover, but Lisa wasn't so lucky. Roy thought that Lisa would be in danger if she was left alone, so he broke free and returned to the shelter. Meanwhile, the dog boss was looking for trouble with Lisa. Roy suddenly pushed in the door, uniting with the other dogs, and they took down the vicious dog boss. After leaving the shelter, Roy took his beloved dog back to the palace, but to Roy's surprise, the keeper didn't know Roy anymore. He chased them away with his feet. That's when Roy overlooked the information in the newspaper that he was dead, and Charlie, the man who set him up, had been chosen as the royal first dog. While Roy was at a loss for words, the shelter's doggy friends come to his aid, so they split up. One team is responsible for attracting the attention of the gatekeeper, and Roy takes the opportunity to sneak into the palace. He came straight to Charlie. He asks him why he's being set up. Charlie didn't answer him. Once again, he tried to kill Lisa and Roy, burying them in debris. To be on the safe side, Charlie set the debris on fire and prepared to burn them both to death. In the end, Roy was safe. When Lisa was rescued, the door wouldn't open. The fire was getting closer and closer. Roy used a balloon to get Lisa out by following the smoke. Then Lisa called out to her other friends, and then Lisa called the rest of the gang to join her in the fire. The fire was extinguished and Roy was rescued, so that the queen could see Roy. Lisa came to the queen despite the danger. She grabbed the gold necklace from the dog and ran away. The queen followed after her, and so the queen finally saw Roy, who had disappeared. She held him tightly in her arms. Roy introduced his companion to the queen. From then on, the dogs never had to wander. Roy lived a happy life with them, and Charlie was sent by the queen to Rice. He became the son-in-law of Turn.